Hello and welcome to all of you Better Homes and Gardens Ellie and Associates agents that missed the training on Saturday. I'm going to give you a quick rundown, a quick abbreviated version of what you missed. Of course, as you know, when you're here in person, you get the elongated version, you get a little bit more in-depth and you get some better examples, and you're missing out on the role play. But in an effort to make sure that nobody misses any of these trainings, we're recording these and you will receive them right after within a few days of you missing them. So not to encourage anybody not to come, because you get a much more detailed presentation when you are here in person. So this presentation that we did was get the listing by being prepared. What I'm finding is a lot of the agents, they're just not prepared when they go on a listing presentation. Preparing for that listing is the key. There's a lot of real estate agents in Tampa, and you never know if the person is interviewing just you, which would be ideal. But many times they're definitely dating other agents. They've got 2, sometimes 3 other agents, and you're within a group of people. So I always prepare as if they're interviewing multiple agents. Even if they tell me they're not, I want to make sure that my listing presentation is as tight, as thorough as possible, and they're convinced after comparing me to anybody else they might have interviewed that I certainly was the most thorough and I'm certainly the most prepared. And that's the way we should prepare for every one of these listing presentations. Keep in mind, there's 12,000 real estate agents. There's about 12,000 real estate agents, and they're all competing for the same properties that you're competing for. So I think it's a great idea. Once again, like I mentioned in the previous slide, you're competing against other people, so you want to make sure that you understand that there's a lot of people vying for the same small amount of business. So, you need to assume that every real estate agent is good, and that's why I over-prepare for these property listing presentations. You want to be prepared to explain what makes you different from all the other real estate agents in Tampa that they could be interviewing, and then show them what you're going to be doing that's different. We have lots of marketing tools in the greenhouse. The Cloud CMA that we have is customizable in the greenhouse, the marketing pages. If anybody would like to see mine, I've customized mine, and it makes it a little bit of a sharper marketing presentation. You gotta service with a smile, show them the extra steps, show them all the extra things that you're gonna do. Dress professional. Men, don't wear any shorts, don't wear any flip-flops, no t-shirts. Be professional. Ladies, not sexy. I think a lot of times people have a tendency to, you're dressed like you're going out to dinner on a Saturday night. Be professional. And be careful with being overly friendly with one spouse or another, because with the jealousy factor, if you're a male and you're paying too much attention to the wife, or you're a female and you're paying too much attention to the husband, you're probably not going to get that listing if you're dealing with a jealous spouse. Be on time. Be on time. Tardiness shows that, I'm telling you that my personal experience, I won't hire anybody that's late. Because you're telling somebody, I'll see you at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and you show up at 3:30. It tells me that I can't believe anything that you say. Your word is your bond. So be on time. Being late is disrespectful and inconsiderate, and it's a great way to not get a listing. So be prompt. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't tell them that you're going to do something and then something pops up. If you're not able to do what you tell them, pick up the phone, call them, tell them, and so they can have an expectation of when you're going to do it. Know who you're up against. You can go well-known agents. They have a history in the area. They're part of the local culture. The people are comfortable with them. They know that that's a safe bet. And the problem, they might be a little bit assumptive that they're going to get the listing. The mega team, what pops into my mind is the Duncan duo. They're very formidable. They're a machine. They're well prepared. They have systems in place that they know that has worked time after time. Be prepared to show them why you're a better choice than a large mega team and how you can give better personalized service, not to mention that they're going to be dealing with you directly and not a team member. And the friend of the family, there's going to be guilt. There's going to be, they're probably the least prepared. They have an expectation that they're going to get the listing. And frankly, they might be a new family member and they're using real estate agents to get the actual data from somebody that they trust. And then they just list with their friend anyway. So be prepared to overcome those objections by asking questions and closing. Include in your listing presentation. Guys, we've got a lot of great stuff. We've got these CMA binders, Cloud CMA that's branded. Know what your marketing materials are. Bring them to the listing presentation. If you're in the office any amount of time, you bring samples of your past marketing that you've done. You bring them a sample of the video that I know that you shot because you've been to my other classes and you know how important video is. So surely you have a video in front of a home and you could text them that to give them an idea of what they're going to be expecting from you. Listing paperwork. Bring them a Better Homes and Gardens magazine. Do a good job. Do everything that you say you're going to do. Be communicative, and you're going to get a lot more business from these people in the future when they refer their friends and family to you. So keep that in mind as well. The steps to winning. Before you do any presentations, go preview the house. Go take a look at the house, and I guess those graphics on the bottom are supposed to be the agents that did not get the listing because you previewed the house. You dropped off some pre-marketing material. You asked questions, lots of questions, and you have a great presentation, and you learn how to handle objections. But starting with number one, go preview the house before you see it. Ask the questions. How old is the roof? How old is the AC? Do the people have 5 dogs? Is it the nicest home in the neighborhood or is it the worst home in the neighborhood? You're going to do a market analysis on that home. So you certainly can't give it a justifiable price without looking at it, and an appraiser can't, so you can't. The only people who can give a price without looking at it are incompetent, lazy, inept real estate agents who are, frankly, I wouldn't even list my house with them, because when I'm doing my listing presentation, I ask them, did the other agent show up and preview the home like I did? Because the answer is always no. Oh, Mr. Seller, so they didn't know that the roof was 18 years old and at the end of its life expectancy. They didn't realize the air conditioning unit was also 18 years at the end of its life expectancy. Well, sir, I factor all these things into my listing when I determine value, because those are the first 2 questions a buyer will ask when they come into a home. And certainly, if you're buying a home at full retail value and you end up putting a roof or an AC in the house, then you basically are underwater in the home. And in shifting markets like we're getting ready to have in 2020, it's not a smart idea to put a roof and pay retail for a house. That was 2 years ago. So you have to explain and be honest with them and show them a justifiable reason why you came up with the price you did. And it's hard to defend it if you haven't been there ahead of time like the other agents are not. So ask questions and know your information when you go to the house. Know the house, be prepared, and be prepared to show off. That's your chance to shine. So show them that, if you're not using Cloud CMA, you have to show them the market. Cloud CMA is free. You can have the most impressive CMA because that is branded to Better Homes and Gardens, and we're one of the only brands that have that. So, do your resume, go in there, use the adjustment features, know your net sheets so you can discuss their net number. Know the information. Just don't print that CMA and show up and expect for those people that are going to review it and ask you questions and it's the first time you've looked at it. Study it. On a $500,000 house, you're asking for a pretty significant commission. You owe it to those people to take some time and study that CMA and know it inside and out so you're better prepared to give the presentation at an accurate price that it's going to sell. That's our job. We're lacking in our ability. I see people print those CMAs and dart out the door without even really looking at it. And that's just not a smart way to do a market analysis. We have other tools that are available. Smart Charts, it's free in our MLS. Gives you the absorption rates. Take the time, do the math. Make sure, include this in the CMA. They print some beautiful, beautiful charts that show you what's happening in the neighborhood and some statistics year by year, what the absorption rates are. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it by using that CMA with smart charts, and it should substantiate your value if you've done your homework. Step by step, you'll win her love. That was an old Eddie Rabbitt song. So, the steps that you need to take is the first step, go out and preview the property. Try to build some rapport with the people. Second step, ask her out and treat her like a lady. Third step, the second is the presentation. Make a great presentation. Show them that you have knowledge of that market and that market analysis. Make sure you do that and that you give a great listing presentation. You should be practicing that in the office with me if you're not sure of your listing presentation. The third step, question-based talking points. Find out the why. Why are they selling? Mr. Seller, what would happen if your home didn't sell? Make sure you ask questions. Fourth step, bring the paperwork, because the people are ready to list with you right then and there. List the property and stop talking. Sometimes the people are ready to list, and I see agents continue to talk, and then they end up talking the people out of doing business with them. So, make sure that you do that. So bring the listing paperwork with you. The keys to winning. The extra mile has no traffic jams. All things being equal, sellers will list with an agent they like best and who they feel the most comfortable with, regardless of anything. So your job is to show them a few things. You're prepared. Your presentation shined. You took the extra time to do it right. You did your research. You made them like you, and you made them comfortable. All things equal, if they would be interviewing the biggest real estate agent in town. And if you prepared and you had a nice presentation and they like you better than they like the other real estate agent, then they will list that property with you. That is a scientific fact. It's not a scientific fact, but I can assure you, I've been doing this long enough to know that you can lose out. If you're not building rapport with these people, that's more important than the presentation, is to make them like you. Then if you're prepared, you're insurmountable. I don't care who they're interviewing against, you're going to get that listing. So get your paperwork signed at the listing. I always tell you guys that there's about a 75% chance you will not get the listing if you walk out of there without the listing paperwork. So be prepared to put a little bit of pressure. And if you feel like you're the right agent and you're the best capable agent, I'm never afraid to put pressure, because I'm afraid of who they might list with. Might be a lesser agent that doesn't have their best interest in mind, like myself. So I want them to list with me, so I will put a little bit of pressure, because I know that that's a smart move and that's in their best interest, and you should feel that way too. Follow up after the sale. Better Homes and Gardens magazine subscription, birthday cards, holiday cards, happy anniversary cards, personal marketing, hit 'em up text. All the things that I teach you in the office are things you need to continue to do after the sale. Client testimonials. If you don't ask for these client testimonials, you're not going to get them. I don't care how good of a job you did. You need to ask them. Post them on Realtor.com, on Zillow, on Google, on your Facebook page. Get on our Better Homes and Gardens page. We need those testimonials. And like I said, if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So Facebook pages, company Facebook page, your Facebook page, your Zillow, and your Realtor.com. And if you don't have a Zillow account, it doesn't matter. They can still give you a recommendation. Just remember, being the expert and being prepared equals money. Lather, rinse, repeat.